Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Scott, and welcome to Candid Conversation. Yes, I figured out a name for it. Candid Conversation. I hope you like it too. Now, this person sitting next to me, for anyone who's from Omaha, I really don't have to introduce you.
Well,
All right, next person.
moving on.
Moving on. This guy and I go back to what, 85, 86?
85, 86.
Oh, yeah. Tim Clark. He's got a very extensive resume, worked with Omaha Chamber of Commerce. He was the director of Love's Jazz.
Yeah.
And right now, what do you do with Metro?
Actually, I'm the manager of community relations and for the 7-county area, and also special projects. It's a position that's out of the office of the president. And so been working a lot with Johnny Rogers.
Who's that?
Johnny the Jet. I'm sorry, Johnny the Jet Rogers, legendary. But really just a lot of community project that really impact the lives of individuals that are seeking to really better themselves, to skill up so they can job up and to get their money up.
Well, you said job, and you know I worked for Juanita Johnson's campaign, and it was jobs.
That's right. Yeah.
And as she was here last week, and I said to her, I had just had lunch with Tim Clark a few weeks ago at Metro,
Right.
talking about ways of getting jobs for this community.
Yeah.
And it's not just our community, it's communities of color throughout the
United States.
I'm trying to get jobs in education and training.
Yeah. And I tell you, to that point, Michael, one of the things we focus on is we call them the H3s: high demand, high skill, high wage. And that's when you think about all this infrastructure money, millions, billions of dollars being spent in this country. What's going to be lacking is skilled laborers. And so you can throw all this money out there. You got to have people that have the skill to do the work. And that's one of the things that community colleges all over the country can help with skill. So usually a skill sometimes is non-credit. You're talking about 10 months or less in terms of a certification. Now you can go and do a 2-year associate degree, but most of some of these skilled laborers, you can really get a skill for 10 months or less and making a living wage. A living wage, I mean, I don't know what you know about living wages, but it's more than $15.
And I just saw yesterday on social media, someone had posted, and they showed a white guy with a briefcase and a suit and said, yes, he went to a 4-year college and he's still paying student loans and he's making $120,000. But this guy here, who's an electrical contractor who didn't go to college and went to a trade school, is making $160,000.
Yeah.
So you're making more money.
That's right. And that's really, to your point, I think for parents out there all over the country, we got to stop looking at one way. And that one way is that, hey, really determining success by 4-year degrees. In some cases, you don't need a 4-year degree. You need just a if you want to become a welder or a metal welder, HVAC, 2 years, and a lot of cases less than, depending on the skill, a CDL license. You get a CDL license, 3 months or less, you're talking about $50,000+ in some cases that you're starting. That's a game changer for a lot of people. And I think if we're going to really get in the game as really Black America, we have to chase not stimulus. We got to chase skill. We cannot stimulus our way out of this. We got to innovate our way. And what better way to innovate your way where you become an entrepreneur because you have a skill? Like you said, electricians, you can work for somebody, but you can be your own boss too. Yeah. And so I think we as a people, in terms of Black people, we gotta focus on the money game being skilling up so we can get our money up. That's only how we're gonna really move from poverty to prosperity, where we can create more environments where we can live, work, and play. You can do that. When you look at Nebraska, for the most part, probably similar to a lot of states all in the Midwest, all over the country, low unemployment overall. Most urban areas is double digits.
Yes.
Same here. If you localize it here, in North Omaha, you're talking about in some cases, 17% unemployment. The state is 2%.
I have told
That's
this
crazy.
a few years ago when I was working at the radio station, my co-host and I at the time, we did not know it was going to be a Republican type function. There were about 75 people in there. We were the only Black folks that walked in.
Okay.
And
Black Republicans.
I didn't see it. And I warned you, don't go that way. Don't go there.
Don't play with you. I'm sorry.
You know, I'll take.
I'm sorry. I'm still the baby in this. I was gonna have my own talk show, but I'm still kind of a student. So.
But back to the, what am I talking about?
All right. Republicans,
Line,
No,
we went to a Republican gathering and they were being very defensive about being called racist. And that was the whole meeting. And we're sitting there and they're going, why are Black people upset? There's low unemployment. What are the folks up in North Omaha? And I got up and I said, hey, I'm not a monolith. This is not a monolithic community.
That's right.
I'm not speaking for all of them. But just by a show of hands, in the last 3 years, how many of you have driven through North Omaha or been in North Omaha? Like 4 or 5 hands came up and I said, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then Michelle
Right.
got into the about because she has her sons and says, what I'm worried about, my son's getting killed.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different
Yeah.
bunch of values. But as you and I learned, and let's tell people how we really go back.
Right.
We were in a group called Up With People.
That's right. Yeah.
That I had moved to Omaha.
Let's
get it right.
You mean wherever you go. Okay.
I had moved to Omaha in '82, and they told me that there's this kid named Tim Clark who has passed the interview and wants to be an Up With People. Can you help him out? And that's why I got to meet this guy.
That's right. In 80, when was that?
85?
86, I believe.
Yeah.
85, because it took a year to prep.
Yeah, it's a lifetime ago.
Yeah, a lifetime ago. Yeah.
But the thing we learned from Up With People is you communicate with people and that knowledge is transferred. You have to let them understand what your life is about. But you're not gonna understand me by watching TV.
That's
You
right.
gotta come and talk to me.
That's right.
Ask me what's going on.
That's right.
And we need more of that.
Yeah. And so often, when you think about strategies across the country, Michael, it's an outside in approach versus inside out. You got to do it with the people, not for.
In other words, people calling the shots outside the community,
Absolutely.
affecting the community.
Exactly. We gotta, there's no economic development if it don't start from within. And all you investing and the money going out versus staying in and spending. And so it's for most part, it's a parent-child relationship. How do we empower more Black people to be in charge of their own destiny and not really be treated like a child in this relationship? Just because I need you, I'm gonna tell you what to do. You're gonna only get it when I say and decide that you're gonna get it. That's not empowering.
This is what Malcolm's been trying to tell us.
Yeah, it's not empowering. So I think if we're going to change as a people, I think we have to really, the government to local through to philanthropists, they got to look at a strategy of empowering people versus making them
on the dole.
Exactly. And so I think, when you think about it, in our lifetime, we will not see the type of investments that the government is really putting in front of us right now. Billions, trillions of dollars. And that whole thing of shovel ready. How do we get ready to take advantage of all these dollars that's coming out?
Do you see us right now? Let's stay with what we know, North Omaha. Are we on the right track?
I think for the most part, we're getting a lot things done. I think we're on the right track. To answer your question, I think we are, but I think we have to be very, very intentional. I don't think we cut deep enough. I think the city can do more. I think it's just very surface it's gotta hurt a little bit. It's like, how do you be, how do you be 30, 50 years behind in terms of just neglect of and truly investing in your most blighted areas? And you think you can catch up by just doing a little? It has to hurt a little bit. And I think from the state, for the first time in years, we have not seen the state level of focus on North Omaha in terms of economically. Not in my lifetime, I haven't seen it. And so I think with the city, county, city council, I think we got to challenge them all to do more.
I would be quick to say every urban area in the United States needs some kind of Berlin airdrop, where we throw supplies after World War II,
Yeah.
and we tried to rebuild these cities we blew up. But the thing is, sometimes I feel the people who are calling the shots have their own interests at heart.
Yeah.
And the money's going in the wrong direction.
Well,
And then it becomes like Kabul.
I think there is a feeling, and maybe some of that is true, Michael. But I do think we got to chase common good, common purpose more, because there's a lot of personal agendas.
Yes.
There's a lot to look at in terms of just most urban areas. It's you got your United Ways, you got your not-for-profits, and so I just think we gotta really focus more on how do we ready more Black people. It sounds just simple, but just do business. If white people want to help,
Let them help.
let them
I know
help.
the rules.
But I think they can, if these companies, after George Floyd, you got a lot of companies saying, that's why you got all these directors popped up, diversity, inclusion directors. What I'm gonna say to them, a good friend of mine is Robert Blackwell Jr., just do business. It just, we will take care of ourselves. As if value, when you say give a handout, I'm talking about value for value. Just do business. We can write the checks.
They're about to wrap me. Any final thought you want to share before I let you go?
Man, we're just not gonna take a break and let me come back because I got more to say, dude. Are you kidding me? I only get started.
I'll work with the bosses and see if I can make it a half hour. I can tell maybe we're on a roll, and I appreciate that. I'll get you come back again.
Absolutely, I'm most definitely. Thank you so much, man. And I tell you, if I can leave with this here, it's just do what it takes, to lean forward and be safe, because this world out here with this variant Delta is real. And so, hey, be good to yourself, my man. It makes it so much easier to be good to others. I'm out.
Okay, first of all, he's trying to steal my closing line, okay? For 20 years, he's been trying to steal my closing line. Tim Clark, thanks for joining us for Candid Conversation.
Right on.
And this is how it goes. And until next time, you take care of one another. You write it down? Did you write it down?